absolutely loved it. And boy, does it feel amazing on the skin. This is so popular in Japan right now. You have to try it. Minasan konnichiwa, this is Tina and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my January skincare hits and misses. If that sounds like your thing, then please go ahead and channel登録しちゃってください。Yes, I am totally bringing back hits and misses this year. I did take a little bit of a break, but I really did feel like you guys enjoyed them and it kind of sparked a lot of conversation, and I also really liked making them. If you are new here, welcome. Hits and misses is a great way for me to kind of share a initial thought on a new product that I started using that month. I've used it enough to get an idea of whether I do like it or not, aka a hit or a miss. Although I can't give a full in-depth review of long-term results of the product, it does give a good idea of the user experience, the textures, and what the product is all about. The first product I have is the Krave Beauty Makeup Rewind. So kind of a funny story, maybe not that funny. Some of you guys may remember that I did mention Krave Beauty's Great Barrier Relief in one of my hits and misses, and unfortunately it just was a miss for me. I believe I am allergic to tamanu oil, which I believe is the main ingredient. It just didn't work out, so unfortunately it was a miss. But after that video, Krave Beauty actually reached out and said, sorry, that one didn't work for you. Do you want to try the other products? And I was like, honestly, like I would love to, because I have loved Krave Beauty's founder, Leah Yu, for such a long time. I have watched her videos for years and years now, and as a brand, I love what they stand for, and it just sucked that the first product that I tried, it didn't work out. So they were kind enough to send basically all of their product range at the time, I think, other than like the Great Barrier Relief and the body one. So this one is a very unique formula. It is a one-of-a-kind jelly to oil cleanser. So it does come out as a jelly, but I did notice that if you do leave it like standing for a while, it can kind of liquefy more into an oil. So I do recommend kind of like shaking it up every now and then to make sure it does stay that jelly formula. And boy, does it feel amazing on the skin. It does have such a silky texture about it that feels just wonderful as you're massaging it on the skin, and it emulsifies like an absolute dream. You know, sometimes when you emulsify cleansers, they either go like way too watery or kind of clump up or get kind of gluggy. It just feels like wonderful, and it washes off super easily as well. I know they have marketed it to remove waterproof makeup, and I'm not going to say it doesn't, because if you do work at it, it will remove the waterproof makeup. But I did personally find that it does take quite a while, and you do have to rub out your eyes for a while. Now, the type of waterproof mascaras I wear are like really seriously waterproof, because I use a lot of Japanese waterproof mascaras, which like literally like barely anything takes it off. I use my mascara movers like the Hero and Make one, so I would still prefer to use something like that and then use this for the rest of my face. The main oil ingredients are grapeseed as well as sunflower seed oil, and it does also include vitamin E for those antioxidant benefits. It definitely has been a hit for me, and it certainly makes that cleansing process really fun and something to look forward to. I also just noticed I have like mostly toner and essence products today. I mean, you guys know that I love toners and essences, but literally 4 out of the 6 products are like a toner or essence. First, I have the Missha Time Revolution, the first essence. Whenever I bring up essences, I feel like someone always mentions the Missha one, which like totally understandable. They are quite iconic and known for their essence. I actually had tried their Time Revolution essence in the past, but honestly, it was probably like 4 to 5 years ago, and they have changed the formula since. So it was my first time trying this renewed one out. I understand that essences are definitely not something that is necessary, and I feel like a lot of people are totally fine with not using essences, and that is totally fine. But for me, I feel like essences are a product that is something that you don't really feel like is working when you're using it, but as soon as you stop using it, you do realize the benefits that it does have for the hydration of your skin. It really does be that first step in your skincare routine, so all of your other products will work better, and it does also help to even out skin texture and skin tone over time as well. I do like to use this type of essence, which is a really water light essence, as my first step after cleansing. And this one is quite similar to the Neogen one, which I had mentioned multiple times as essentially my holy grail essence. They both use Bifida as the main fermented ingredient along with niacinamide. I would say the Neogen is slightly more hydrating, but this one does feel fresher on the skin. So if you do want the benefits of an essence but you don't like layering too many heavy layers, you might actually like this one. It is 150 mils for about $40 like retail price, so you can definitely find it for cheaper. And yeah, I feel like it is very comparable, I mean, even from its ingredients, to the Neogen. So if one of them is easier for you to get your hands on, I'd recommend either of them as your first step essence. So yes, it has been a hit. Another great fermented ingredient, I do have the Manyo Galac Niacin 2.0 essence. So this product actually contains 94% of galactomyces and 4% niacinamide. Man, niacinamide is really in everything these days, isn't it? I feel like it is like the new hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid was in absolutely everything, and then we started to try like avoid it because it's in absolutely everything, and then some people can get like irritated from too much hyaluronic acid. I feel like the same thing is happening with niacinamide. I feel like some people are definitely looking for niacinamide free products these days. Unfortunately, this is not one of them. For me, the biggest issue with this product was actually its packaging. This bottle leads me to believe that it is a serum or ampoule type product, but as you can see, it is actually like super duper watery. It is just water, you know. It is like super lightweight, that it's actually more like the Missha essence. So it actually confuses me to how much of the product I need to use, and if I do need to use like a palmful of this product like I would an essence, I feel like it is not great value for money because it is only a 50 ml bottle versus the Cosrx Galactomyces essence, which I just recently started using, so I haven't included it in this month's hits and misses, but that one is like 150 or 180 mils, and the two main ingredients, the first two ingredients, are the exact same. It is way more affordable than this one. It is a way bigger bottle with the same ingredients, and it actually has more of a viscous texture, so it has a bit more of a slip. So with that one, I know that I can use it more as a toner or a serum step, whereas this one, like with the bottle and the texture and everything, I get so confused to like when in my routine that I should use it that I just end up not reaching for it. Hence, like I did open it a while ago, but I have barely used it because I just end up reaching for my bigger essences like this. Unfortunately, it has been a miss for me. I don't actually think it is a bad product, but especially for a skincare beginner, I feel like it is just confusing. Speaking of Cosrx, I actually have their Propolis Synergy Toner. So typically with hits and misses, I do include products within a month of use. So they're usually like just lightly used, but look at this, like I am almost empty. This was the main toner I was using in the US, and funnily enough, it was brand new to me at the time, but I was like, I just need a full-size toner. I feel like this is like a good all-rounder. So I took it with me to the US, and other than this toner, I only had like minis that I had brought with me, and oh my god, I absolutely loved it. Although we were in the US during winter, we did stay in Florida, so it was mainly warm days with medium humidity, and there was some cold days in there as well. This one was great because it did deeply hydrate, but it didn't feel overly greasy, and it really did leave my skin looking plump, supple, and added that glow as well. It does include 72% of propolis extract, which is antibacterial and anti-inflammatory, while having healing properties, and adds moisture and radiance to your skin as well. So it can actually work for pretty much all skin types, even acne prone skin. If you do feel like it is a little bit too hydrating when you have oily or acne prone skin, you can actually put it on a cotton pad and just swipe across your face so you can get those benefits without it being like overly hydrating on your skin. I actually did do this as well in Florida because the water there is not quite as soft or nice as water in Melbourne, and I didn't want to break out from the water, so I actually, after I wash my face, I would put some on a cotton pad, swipe it off, and then since I do have a bit drier skin, I applied an extra amount in my palms and then patted it in, and my skin was literally like it stayed so good for the whole month I was there, and this was like essentially the only toner I was using. So obviously it was an absolute hit, and although it is still the start of the year, I think it's already made my list of top toners of this year. Next, I do have the the iUNIK Tea Tree Relief Toner. So some of you guys may have seen the reel that I did with Logan following his skincare routine on Instagram with iUNIK. I think a lot of you guys liked it and it was honestly so much fun to film as well. We were just cackling the whole time. But he has been using iUNIK for probably close to a month now. And after we filmed that video, I was like, it's done now, so you can switch back to your other products. But he's like, oh no, like, I like them, and he has continued to use them even though like we don't need to be trialing them for the video anymore. So yeah, he has 100% enjoyed the products from iUNIK, and so many of you guys actually DM'd me saying like, oh my god, it's such a good brand with great value for money, like it's really affordable but it is really high quality products. And I was like, I totally agree. So do we want a full brand review of iUNIK? Please let me know in the comments. And although I didn't use as many of the products in depth as Logan, this toner seriously surprised me. Typically, I don't like products that are more aimed at acne prone or troubled skin, and I don't really like them to contain a lot of tea tree either because of that strong smell. And this one does actually include 67% of tea tree leaf water. That's probably why it's not like concentrated tea tree, it's like the leaf water, as well as 19% of Centella asiatica leaf water. The smell that I was worried about is really subtle and quite refreshing, and the formula is actually super watery, but it hydrates like crazy, which is what surprised me. I just didn't expect it to be that hydrating because it is very watery and also for more troubled skin. But even if I like put it on a cotton pad and swipe, it is still hydrating enough for my skin. So if you have acne prone skin or oily skin that is dehydrated, I feel like you would absolutely love this one. It is a generous 200 mils of product and sells for about $20, so obviously very affordable. And I actually do have an Amazon code until the end of February. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it in this video because it's like not sponsored or anything. It was for the real, and I'm sure you guys can use it. So I will leave the code and everything if you do want 20% off iUNIK on Amazon US right now as well. Obviously, it has been a hit for both myself and Logan. Okay, the last product I have is actually a Japanese product, and it is the Quality First Derma Laser Super VC100 Sheet Mask. I feel like one of the reasons to why Japanese skincare doesn't do as well as K-beauty overseas is like this super confusing, like doesn't make sense naming of products. It's like, what's the brand name? What's the product name? But this sheet mask has seriously been making its mark in Japan. So I actually got this from a friend that visited towards the end of last year, and she brought it for me as a gift, and she was like, this is so popular in Japan right now, you have to try it. And I have mentioned it a couple of times on IG, but I cannot find links to it anywhere. Like no one online sells it, so it is like a Japan only exclusive product. So when you visit Japan, make sure you get this one. And even when I last checked at Cosmo, it was still ranked as #1 in the category of sheet mask. So obviously the popularity is continuing. So for me, this sheet mask is kind of like a more affordable multi-pack of the No.3 sheet mask, because that one's individually wrapped per mask. It's kind of expensive, but this one, it has 7 masks for 770 Japanese yen. With the current exchange rate, it's about 85 US cents per mask. So super affordable. The only thing is you really can only get it in Japan at the moment. So this one is not something that I would use every single day because it is quite rich in its essence, but something that I would use on special occasions or when I need that extra boost for my skin the next day. The masks are absolutely drenched in essence that contains niacinamide as well as 4 derivatives of vitamin C, and it's supposed to help with pore care, brightening, elasticity and glow, and it definitely does give that instant glow after I've used it. Also, there is so much extra essence in this pouch. When my friend gave it to me, she was like, after you've used up the sheet mask, like there's so much essence in there, so make sure you put your own like sheet mask or like cotton in there, and you can get like an extra 2 masks out of it. I would definitely recommend it more to normal and drier skin types since it is quite rich, and it does contain some essential oils as well, just as an FYI. But yeah, obviously it has been a hit, and I'll be grabbing myself some more in March when I'm back in Japan. I'm so excited. Well, I really do hope you guys enjoyed the first hits and misses of 2023. How exciting. If you do want to check any of my past ones, I have selected a couple here for you guys to check out, and make sure you subscribe so you can see like my upcoming upcoming hits and misses as well. I promise you, you won't regret it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Mwah!